everyone, Jean here. Thanks for stopping by. I am doing the Dee Dee Farago's challenge. I will have to say though that I cannot do 3 times a week like all the lovely ladies are doing. Just have too much on my plate, but I do want to do this at least once a week and maybe twice a week. Anyways, this challenge was to take a base of, you know, either a firm scrapbook paper or something as or cardstock, and to build pockets on it. And I was inspired by Tanya's using Edith Holden for her one of her videos. She used Edith Holden, and I thought I have so many of those that have just words on them both page. And of course, we love the beautiful drawings, but the words, are kind of challenged a little bit to use. So I thought I want to use those up. And so as I was cutting them, I cut the pages in half. And as I did, I began to see that some of them had like the month written here on the side. And I thought, well, what would be so fun would be to choose papers and ephemera to kind of go with the season that's written up here, and then use that in that type of a journal. So if I do maybe a journal of sunflowers or sort of a summer journal, I can use this as ephemera. I also chose October, and I chose April. And these are, spring and fall seasons are kind of themes that I tend to use. So I thought, oh, that's what I'm going to do. And I completed a few that I'll show you at the end. I completed them with the ephemera and the decoration and stuff to kind of show you where I'm going with this. Right now, though, I am trying to do things that are a little on the plain side or a little generic so that I can add additional things to it as I know what journal it's going to go into. So I'm just going to do fun thing with the month. And what's really nice is that the orientation can be this way, or it can be this way, or it can be this way. So it's kind of neat for it to be on the side. So what I did, I went ahead, and because I know inking is kind of boring to watch, so I went ahead and cut them up, rounded the corners, inked them up, these pages, and that really doesn't take very long at all. I think when you cut this page in half, you come up with 4.5 by 7 inches is the general is the measurements, but you may find you want a smaller measurement, something smaller. These could be pockets, but they could also be floating journal tags. And I went ahead and cut and inked up the other all of them except for 2. So I just wanted to do that on camera so you kind of get an idea of where I am going or how that's put together. I'm not even going to time myself because I'm very confident this particular thing is going to be really quick and won't take that long. So the I'm cutting the pocket 6 inches, and the pocket that you want to go behind the paper, like I want this to be the first pocket and I want this to be the second pocket. The first one then I cut for 3 inches. And kind of want, a little bit longer piece for that and a shorter piece for the one that goes in front. And so that one I cut it at 6 inches. Oh, you know what? I want to save that little strip there. Yeah, I know. I'm using scraps and getting more scraps. I don't know if that makes any sense or not. So that's the other thing too I wanted to say is that this project uses up those 3.5 by 12 inch scraps that we often have as a result of cutting down a 12 by 12 to use in our journals. So the second one then is 2.5. And again, that might depend on how much you want of this part to show, as well. So that's that. And then I like to put in a thumb notch inside here. So I am just going to do this here. I'm just going to find out where the middle is, put a little nick in there, and take my hole punch. Now you know what, I'm going to see if I can't do two at one time. Maybe two at one time will work, I don't know. These are starting to get a little dull, but let me put a thumb notch in there. Oh, I did it, yay. And you know, I also round the corners. Now you don't have to round the corners, it just kind of depends, I think, on what your base is. I really like how Tanya from Taddy Treasures, how she rounded her corners. I like that on the Edith Holden, because she's right. The Edith Holden is kind of a rounded type of handwriting, and I don't know. I like that look. But you may want to leave yours, you know, totally square. Now, I was looking at one of my older videos. Well, actually not that old. And I saw myself calling these here thumbnails, and I know they're not. I don't know, silly me, I don't know why I was doing that, but they are thumb notches. And what I like about them is that they not only make it easier to take out the ephemera or digital card, but you can see some of it peeking through, which I think is kind of fun too. So see, that was just easy. And now this one is going to go on my August one. And I kind of chose the yellow because I think of sunflowers and kind of like this design in here. So kind of gave me a sunflower feel, I guess. Now I'm going to put a thin little piece of glue along the edges. Doesn't have to be really large. Now we'll just put it through there. Now I want it below the month, of course, but I also made it this size because I wanted to have some of the writing show. I kind of like that idea of having some of the writing peek out. And so we'll just do this. I wrote the measurements here on the back, so I made sure that I remembered them. Alrighty, and we'll just put this right along here. So now we got two little pockets. Now, how easy is this? Now this is on the plain side, and another reason why I didn't go all the way to the edge is that I might want to cut this down for whatever reason. I know that the 4.5 by 7 is a little on the large size, and so this kind of gives me leeway to adjust it to what I might be using it for in the future. So let's do April here. Now this was a real thin piece of paper, so this was real thin, so I put in another strip of paper and glued it at the top there where you're going to be putting stuff, you know, your ephemera in and out, and that way it'll make it a little bit sturdier for when you keep putting things in and out. Now I know the April is a little off center, and I'm okay with that, but if you're using Edith Holden, that might bug you. You might need to cut it down. A little bit, so we'll just put that in here. And cutting out these pockets were really fast too, because you know, you're just cutting out the same thing 6 times. You know, and you may not even want to ink around them, which would make it even faster. On this particular one, I had enough of the scrap that I was able to fold it over and double it because it was a little on the thin side. So there's ways to do it. You can also put a strip of washi tape on the back side, or glue. I would glue it in, and that also will reinforce that beginning edge when you put things in and out. Right. So there's October. Oh dear. Good thing about glitter glue is it just dries matte, and that isn't true with Fabri-Tac. Ooh, no, it dries shiny. We don't always get along. So one last pocket on here, and then I'll show you a few that I've decorated to kind of give you an idea where I'm going with all this eventually. And I'm not going to decorate these here until I know the specific journal, because then I can use digitals, you know, whatever digital kit I'm using. I can use some of the ephemera that comes with it. I can use that to incorporate it a little bit. So I am going to leave, you know, the rest of these plain. But here is a couple that I know what I'm going to do with them. So I went ahead and decorated them. And the pockets are going the other way. That's how I started out. But I decided this was better, because then I wasn't constrained to a certain size of ephemera. But you can see that it's October, so I put the little owl in there. I thought that was Octoberish, and some fall leaves, some apples because they're harvested during October, many of them, and a little tie here with a little leaf. So this is what you can end up with by putting the decoration in, so it doesn't look so plain in the end. And then for the back side, if you're going to use this as a floating pocket, in other words, it's not going to be attached to any page in your journal, you're just going to stick it in there with a clip, you can then put I put some tea stain paper and glued it on the back so that there's room here for journaling. There's also, could also be a mat for a photo. You know, you could put decorative paper back here and use it as a photo mat. I mean, how cute would that be? So that is just giving you some ideas of getting some ephemera done. I really like, oh, here's another one. I haven't completed this one, but this is November with the little squirrel and you know, a pumpkin and a pumpkin down there. I really appreciate Dee Dee's challenge, because first of all, it does challenge me to do something quickly and not spend an hour on a tag. And sometimes you want to do that, but you can't do that with every tag. And it also she also has ideas for me to start with, which is like so cool. And I love looking at the other videos, what the other ladies have done, because it seems like, you know, when you see a variation on a theme several times, it really can really get your juices going, and you can come up with more ideas. So I hope you do check them out. I'm going to link the playlist that Dee Dee has going down below that has the ladies that are all doing this, and have a good time with it, and you know, try to challenge yourself, you know, by doing something in 15 minutes. And you may not make 15, it may be 20 or 25, but at least you can kind of whip things out a little bit faster. And anyway, so thank you so much. I'm going to try and do a second one this week, because she's working with some glassine bags, and there's a technique that I saw from Artie Mays that I would like to try. And so I think I'm going to do something with glassine bags. And so I hope you subscribe, and I hope you check out the ladies and come back for some more ideas. And yeah, don't freak out before Christmas. Get it all done now. Talk to you later. Bye.